Welcome! In this video, we will show you how to build reports in Google Analytics 4 to see the performance of your Luigi features. Well, the best way to do it is to create a new blank report in the Exploration tab. So let's navigate into the Explore and create a new blank exploration by clicking this plus sign. In the Exploration report, we need to create a new segments of the users that use the Luigi features and of course the users that didn't use the Luigi features to compare it. And we need to create some dimensions and to add some metrics as well. So let's start. Let's start with the segments. So we can create a new segment by clicking this plus sign. What we need to do here is to choose the user segment because we want to filter the users, not the sessions or the events. So let's click the user segment and add a new condition. Well, in the first scenario, which is really the simple one, we can just include all the users that triggered the Luigi event. So let's find the Luigi event by simply typing the Luigi into this field. Now you will see in the list of the events, you will see the event called Luigi. So let's just choose the event. And now we filtered all the users that interacted with Luigi event. So let's name the segment, for example, the Luigi right? Save and apply. Now we need the segment of the users which didn't interact with Luigi features. So click the plus sign. Again, use the user segment. And now we need to delete this include group. So just click here to delete it and add a new group to exclude. So what we will do now is to exclude the users which interacted with Luigi feature by adding the same condition. Click on the conditions and find Luigi event. Right, Luigi. Now name the segment, for example, without Luigi save and apply. Now we have two segments, Luigi and without Luigi. Now we can add some metrics. It's completely up to you what metrics you would add to the report, but usually you want to see the basic metric like the number of users, maybe the bounce rate, and the main KPIs like the conversion rate, revenue, or purchases. So let's add some metrics by clicking this plus sign here and find the metrics you want. So let's say total users, let's say conversions, conversion rate. You can choose the user conversion rate. And let's say purchase. Click the import button. And now all the metrics are imported into our segment. What we need to do now is to drag and drop the metrics and dragging and dropping them into the values. We will put it here. So drag and drop into the values section. And now we have our metrics into the reports. You can see that the report is not looking really handy, so what we could do to make it look better is to change the column view of the segments to the row view. So let's click the first row in the pivot section. And now our segments are shown into the rows instead of the columns. So we have our first report. So let's start with creating a new segment. Click the plus sign, choose the user segment, and add a new condition. In this case, the condition will be based on a custom dimension called service. So let's find the service. And now in the list of dimensions, we can see the custom dimension with the name service. We need to add a condition here. So the condition will be contains, and when you click and input field of this condition, you will see all the values of the service parameter. So we can see the two values called LB search and LB autocomplete, which are basically the Luigi box features values, and then we can see the original search and original autocomplete, which are the values for the original solution. So we can start with the Luigi box services. So let's click the LB search or LB autocomplete, or we can be a little bit more smart and just type in the LB value here, because this will cover us the both values, LB search and LB autocomplete. So let's just type in the LB, and then we need to click at any point in time, which is very important, and apply. And now we filtered all the users that use the actual Luigi box features. So let's name our segment, for example, Luigi box services. Okay, now we can save and apply. And now we can create the segment for the original services. So let's click the plus sign, user segment, and in the same manner, create a new condition to include service that contains, and we can type in the original, which will again cover us both values, original search and original complete. Click the at any point in time, apply, name your segment, for example, original services, save and apply. And we can also create a segment for all users that didn't interact with Luigi box services, whether they saw the original services or not. The only condition will be they didn't saw or interacted with Luigi box. So click plus sign to create a new segment, choose the user segment, and then delete this include group by clicking this bin, and then add group to exclude. So add a new condition, and the service is any of LB. So now we will exclude all the users that interacted with any service that contains the LB. So without Luigi box services, save and apply. And now we have a little bit more specific segments. It's really up to you how you will build your segments. You can also build a segment for the particular services, like, you know, the LB autocomplete, LB search, LB recommender, LB product listing, etc. You can have them separately, so it's really up to you. Okay, now that we have our segments, we can start building our report with the metrics. So let's click on the plus sign near the metrics and add some metrics we want. This is, again, is completely up to you, but usually you want some basic metrics like, let's say, total users, or some main KPIs like, let's say, conversions, conversion rate. So you can choose the user conversion rate, and purchases. So we import them, and now we imported those metrics into this report. The next thing we need to do is to drag and drop them into the values section. So we'll just drag and drop each of those metrics you want in your report. And we have our first table. As you can see, the table is not really nice looking, so what we can do here is to change the view from the column view of the segments to the row view. So let's click on this pivot section and choose the first row. And what will happen now is that all of our segments will be listed in rows instead of the columns. Right, so we can see the total values of the total users, the conversions, and the purchases here for each of the segments we previously created. And we can also see the user conversion rate. But when you look at the user conversion rate, it looks like it's not really realistic, to be honest. is really high. So this is caused by the fact that we actually just calculated the user conversion rate for the all of the conversions, including the micro conversions, such as, you know, the scroll or the any type of the website engagement, basically. So that's why the user conversion rate is so high. So what we need to do now is to filter the conversion rate for the conversions we need. So in this case, it will be the purchases. We can do it by adding our first dimension, actually. So let's navigate into the dimensions, click the plus sign, and find the dimension called event name. Choose the dimension and import it. And now navigate into the filters, click into this field, and create a new filter based on the dimension called event name. Okay, this will open up this little box, and what we need to do here is to filter all the users that actually perform the purchase, of course, but they also start a session. And the reason for that is that if you just filter all the users that purchased anything, it will basically filter only those users, and our conversion rate will be 100%. So we can try it. So let's filter only purchasers. So event name contains purchase. And now you can see the user conversion rate is 100%. So let's return to the filter and change the condition from contains to matches regular expression. So matches regex. And add the second condition by this divider, adding this divider, and then type in the session start. Apply. And now we can see the real user conversion rate for purchases. So basically what we did is that we told the filter that we need to filter all the users that purchased, but also started the sessions. So it will also include all the users who started any session. Now that the report is ready, you can add some additional filters or some additional metrics or some additional dimensions. So basically it's up to you what kind of data you need to see. You just need to keep those best practices that I showed you. You can, for example, add some dimensions like the acquisition source or the country, the host name that will show you the domains if you have multiple domains, or let's say the device category. So let me just show you. Just type in the device category, for example, import it, and drag and drop it into the, let's say, rows. And now all your segments are divided into the 3 device categories: mobile, desktops, and tablets. So as I said, it's really up to you what kind of a metrics and dimension you will add later. And the last thing you need to do is to share your exploration, as by default the explorations are visible only to their creators. So if you want to show them to your colleagues or the clients, you need to share them with the others. So you can do it by clicking this pictogram and then click the share button. And that's it.